credit cards today. A big recording in progress. So as we go through this, we're going to look at the number side of things, and you can debate about the value of things. So when we look at the percentage rates for credit cards, they are given as an annual percentage rate. And so, but we are given monthly bills. And so when we are given those monthly bills, then we need to figure out that finance charge for the month. And so these are just a few different ones. They have given us a great example to follow that we can then say if it is 15%. So if it's 15%, then we know we need to change the percent to a decimal. But we're only 1 month, so we're dividing that by 12. Just leave that in your calculator. Times, or put it all in at once, times the 1,000. And so in this case, I got $1,250. And so then the ending balance, we're assuming no other purchases, just the carryover balance and the interest. So then of course we would be adding $1,250 plus the $1,000. So $1,012.50. If you forget to move the decimal, you're going to get an answer that is, I mean, I know that credit card companies are ripping us, you know, they take advantage of people, but you would get something extremely different. So here I get $16.67 for the finance charge. Makes sense, right? It should be about twice what the 10% is. It should be twice. It's just the only reason it's not exactly double is just rounding, because this actually rounds up. And then, so then I think we can do that math pretty easily. 1,000 plus the 16.67, so 1,016.67 cents. Everybody feel good about what we're doing so far? Okay. And so, number one, what we filled in the table, A and B, that is what we filled in the table. Okay, so that's basically just asking us to fill in the table. And then how much more interest do we have with the 20% versus the 10%? Just a straightforward subtraction. So just the $8 and bless you, 34 cents looks like. Yeah, so in this case, we can just how much more, we can simply answer that with the subtraction. So interest rates for credit cards are often much higher than interest rates for mortgages or car loans. Does anyone have an idea of why that is? Why is it the interest rate so much higher for a credit card than your house or your car? No, not necessarily about.
You would use a credit card more than you would like make payments, I guess.
You might use the credit card more than you would make payments. If you have a car loan and you don't pay it off, what could happen? They could take the car, right? They could repossess the car. If you don't pay your mortgage, what could happen? Foreclosure. If you don't pay your credit card bill, are they going to come and take away the things you purchased? They're not. So credit cards are what's called unsecured. There's no collateral. Your house, your car, those are collateral. Most credit cards, unless you're just starting out and they require you to keep a bank account or something, typically most credit cards are unsecured. Yeah, your credit score is affected, but if you went and purchased clothing or a new computer even, they're not going to come and take that if you don't pay. And so it's unsecured debt. They don't have collateral like they do with a house or a car. And really, they don't want your house. They don't want the responsibility of selling that house or that car, but as a last ditch effort. But that's why it's so much higher, is because it's unsecured debt. Like, there's not something that they're going to come and take from you. So in general, there is a time period that you do not get charged a finance charge on a credit card, but that is only if the entire balance was previously paid off. So for instance, my husband and I use our credit card for almost everything, but I have it automatically set up that the entire balance is paid every time. So I have 2 different credit cards. One, I earn airline miles, and one I earn groceries from Kroger. And, but I don't pay any interest, because now one of them I do pay an annual fee. And so I've been thinking about getting rid of it because of the annual fee.
Yeah, you should.
But
we give you other.
But because of because of the extra things that I get for like the airline, it's kind of on the border of like, if I use this, how much, but typically there are lots of cards out there that don't have annual fees. So that would be my first go-to. And then it might sound kind of bad, but I am not so worried about what my APR is, because I do always pay it off every month. Now, if something happened though, and my husband or I lost our job, and then suddenly we couldn't pay it off at the end of the month, then I would be much more concerned about what my APR was. So, and sometimes things do change, right? Sometimes things happen that we don't plan on. And so, but I have the good credit history too, and I have savings. Yes. Yeah. So I did the bad credit thing when I was in college. I learned my lesson the hard way there. So when we do this, we are not even going to write down this percentage. Do you see here where it says 16.99%? So then the monthly interest rate, to give you an idea, the monthly interest rate is like 1.4158. Even that number is rounded. So we're going to just change it to a decimal and put the divide by 12 and leave the whole thing in the calculator. Don't write down that in the between number and like, how many places should I keep? Just put the whole thing in, so that we only round at the end, and that's going to give us our most accurate answer. So when we talk about the carryover balance, we're saying this is the part this is not subject to a grace period, because they had a carryover, they had a balance from before.
So when they give you the APR of 16.99,
that's still an annual.
And
right. That's what APR is, annual percentage rate.
so if I had, let's say $100, they're gonna charge me, let's say a month I spend $100. They would only charge me 1.41 on interest that month.
Yes, that month you would get charged $1.42 on interest.
Not 16.99.
No. So sometimes people are like, that doesn't seem so bad. It's only $1.40. But then they use it for $100, and then $100 becomes $300, and then $500, and then we'll kind of get an idea. Yes, they're only charging, divide by 12 is what they're charging you per the month. We're going to see a couple examples here. 16.99 is actually not an uncommon, but neither is this 23.99. So if they had 1,650, and then you can, because it's multiplication, you can do this in whichever order you want, but times, change your percent to a decimal, divide by 12. So in this case, $32.99. So almost $33 for that 1 month interest. So compare that to if we had 15.99, so we're doing the same thing. Still divide it by 12. $21.98. So it looks like that's what, about $11 and a penny. So a pretty decent sizable chunk. So that, if we look at the next page and we see credit cards and the finance charge, and depending on how much we have outstanding, we're gonna see that this actually is just a it's still linear. So if the credit card balance is 0, the finance charge is 0, yes. So we're down here in the corner at 0, 0. I could put that on my graph. So if it is $100, and when we say the finance charge, we're talking for 1 month. So we're going to take that $100 times 0.17, divide it by 12. $1.42, yes. So 100, and then $1.42 is going to be a little below halfway. My dot's probably going to look like it's just about halfway. And then do the same thing to fill in the table for number 3. We've got 200, 300, 400, and that'll give us more dots over here. So what do you guys think? What does it, does this look like it's linear? Or does it look like it's exponential? I had to do some estimating when I made my dots, but I'm thinking this looks pretty linear. And then for the model, well, we know it starts at 0, right? It started at 0, 0. So the B is 0. And then what is it changing by each time? I just wrote this. Right? That's what we're multiplying times the X every time. And I could write that in a different way, I'm sure. I just divide it out to get a decimal. All right, turn on over to 10.4, which is just the next page. So before we go there, I'll just give you guys a quick rundown of what it says on the page before. That if you don't pay your bill on time, you have a late payment fee. Might be $15, $39, you know, it's, could be up there. And then the other thing is one late payment and your percentage rate could jump way up to, maybe it was, you know, 8.99 and now it's 29.99. And so, especially if you have a big balance, that is going to affect things more than usual. If you exceed your credit limit, that also results in another charge and can also trigger the increase in the APR. And so sometimes people are like, well, I didn't know it was in it. Well, all that fine print, right? So, or they send things out that things changed. So that introductory rate is not always what's going to happen. And some even have a variable APR where it's so much more than the prime rate. So as interest rates start to go up, even if you're doing everything right, it could go up. So these are some of the rules for this particular agreement. We're going to refer back to these to answer these questions about Jennifer. So you're going to want to keep that. Well, it's right there in your book, but keep those things in mind. We'll refer back to those things to answer these questions. So Jennifer has a new credit card, and those are the rules in the gray box. Her credit limit is $500. She decides she's going to purchase some school supplies at the beginning of the month. And she is going to pay only the minimum payment the month of the purchase. So there's no finance charge that month because she had a starting balance of 0. So what would her minimum payment be? So looking at the gray box,
5%.
okay, it says $20 or 5% of her balance. So which one, what is 5% of her balance? So if we take that 195 times 5%, it's less than $20, right?
Yeah.
So her minimum payment is going to be the $20. So if she only pays the $20, how much is going to be carried over? How much does she still owe if she pays $20 of the 195?
Minus 170.
So we did 175 would still be what she owes. Yes. So now we're going to complete the table over here. And they were saying like that was kind of month 0. So this is in the first month that she has a carryover balance. So this is what the 175 is what we're going to figure her finance charge on. So 175 times her monthly interest rate, 15.99%. So 0.1599. Divide that by 12. Just figuring it for 1 month. And how much is her finance charge for the month? $2.33. Good. And it says here, she made no new purchases. So this would be 0. She doesn't have any other fees. So now her new balance is now $177.33. So her minimum payment would be that $20 again, right? Because it's greater, right? Greater than the 5%. So then her ending balance is 177 minus the 20. So you've got 157.33. And that ending balance is would be her new balance for the start of the next month.
So she takes 20. Oh, you add.
Well, we're gonna see. She's gonna decide to do some other things. So she decided to use her credit card because she just got it and they said they had this cash back option. And so she was really excited about this cash back option. So how much is her cash reward going to be for those school supplies? Now,
All purchases.
well, now what does it say?
And for the total.
After your total annual purchases exceed $3,000. So she just got this card. Purchases that are part of your first 1,500 earn 0.25%. So change that to a decimal 0.0025 times her $195 school supplies purchased. And what's her big cash rebate? $0.49. So 49 cents. So Jennifer's getting her cash back reward of 49 cents. So the cash back rewards are calculated only on new purchases. And if it's balanced from before, you know, you're not going to get that. And if you don't do what you have to do to collect your reward, then the credit card company just keeps that money. So
she needs to exceed that 3,000.
she would not get the full 1% until she exceeds that.
But she would still get the 0.25.
She gets, yeah, she gets this 49 cents, but there's probably something she has to do to actually claim it. They're not just going to take it off her bill automatically. So now number 4, Jennifer is so excited by the prospect of a cash reward because she's not done the math about how much this cash reward is. That she says, man, I'm going to buy a $400 plane ticket because I'm going to get a cash reward on it. So how much cash reward is she getting for her $400 plane ticket?
1.25%.
0.0. Yeah. So, yeah. So,
400.
yeah. So how much money is that going to be? She's going to be raking it in. 49 cents for her school supplies, but what about number 4 for her airplane ticket? $1.
$1.
She gets $1 of cash reward. All right, $1. One big. So now let's see what else happens here. She's gonna get that $1. Let's not forget. But Jennifer's credit limit was only $500. So we are in some trouble now. Jennifer is in some trouble now. So she has exceeded her credit limit. And so the credit card company is going to charge her an over the limit fee. And her APR is no longer that 15.99. Now it's 29.99. So she's carrying over from the month before, 157.33. And now we need to find out her finance charge. The finance charge only based on that purchase.
On the 400.
Only on the carryover balance. We're assuming they're giving her the grace period on the other. There's also something called average daily balance, but we're not going to talk about that today. So we're just figuring this on the finance charge. It's in the order we're going to figure things. So we're going to do our finance charge on the 157.33. But what percentage you have to use? Yeah, you had to use 0.2999. So yes, $3.93 this time. And then her new purchase, $400. Other fees.
$39.
How much was it? $39 for going over the limit. So, and then now let's check our math. add these up and make sure that they come up to the $600.26. That's gonna be our checkpoint. Does our numbers,
26.
yep, all right. So now we need to find her minimum payment. Because now her minimum payment, the $20 is not gonna be $20 anymore.
$15.
No, I think it's gonna be more than that.
Well, confused. Why are we checking that for 600?
Because the $600.26 was already printed there. Do you see what I mean?
No.
If you look at the table in your book, isn't the 626 already there?
Okay.
So I'm just saying that number was already in the information, so we can check that. So her minimum payment, 5%. So I need to do $600.26 times 0.05. Maybe you said the right thing and I didn't hear you.
$30.
$30.01.
Minimum, I did the 600 times.
Did you do
299 divided by 12.
Oh, yeah, no. We gotta find her minimum payment first.
Right.
The minimum payment, just the 5%. I had $30.01. You guys,
Got that.
you got that too? Okay. And so if all she can pay is the minimum payment, then she is then going to have her next carryover balance
99. 569.
Don't forget that that's 626 cents, which may be also why you came up with $30 exactly and not $30 and a penny.
570, 25.
570.25. So then look at the questions below that. Oh, hello. So for the questions below that, we have how much total has she earned from her cashback rewards? $1.49. Go, Jennifer. How much has she paid now in finance charges and other fees? So she had a finance charge in month 1, a finance charge and another fee in month 2.
$45.26.
45.26, yes. And what if Jennifer was thinking, oh, I just thought the minimum payment was always $20. I don't know if I have $30. And so she can't make her monthly minimum payment on time. How much is her late fee gonna be if she,
$78 for 2 months.
no, how much is her late fee gonna be?
$39. I'm sorry. 35 times 2, $70.
Well, just, this
For-
is,
oh,
this
for
is
month 2.
just month 2, not 2 months, yeah. Yeah, she'd have to pay another $35. And also, guys, notice what else is going on. If she only pays her monthly payment, she's still at $570. Even if she doesn't charge anything else, guess what? She's getting another over the limit fee. Even if she pays on time and doesn't charge anything else, she's still over the limit. And then the next month, if she only pays the minimum payment, she's also still over the limit.
Free money for the bank.
There's a reason that they can give me free groceries without me paying any interest. Well, okay, so for Kroger, I get 1% of all purchases and 2% of purchases at Kroger. So it usually ends up being around $400 a year of free groceries.
That's not bad, like.
But I'm not paying any, huh?
So that's like a month's worth of groceries for free.
Yeah.
A month.
Yeah. That's for the whole year, by the time the whole year, but we spend a lot of money on groceries.
I spend 300-400 probably a week in groceries.
Yeah, that's what my dad used to do. And then I moved out.
All right, so let's click on over to this next part where it says making only the minimum payment. This is on 10-6. And we're gonna look at someone who has a larger balance here. That they had a carryover balance of $3,000. And now we're gonna charge them their finance charge. So the finance charge, that's when we're using the APR divided by 12. So how much is,
Finance charge,
uh-huh,
74.75.
I didn't get that. Check that you typed in the same thing. 0.22, 0.2299. Okay.
7.
$57.48. So when it was $1.45, it sounded like, oh, that's not so bad, right?
It's 3,000.
But when it's $3,000 and it's $57, like we're talking that's a pretty good chunk of change that you're just paying out in interest. So then the new balance, $3,057.48. And so the minimum payment here says now, and this is very real. This minimum payment is only 3% of the balance. So I just straight up take that, and it doesn't have a $20 minimum. So just 0.03 times that balance. $91.72. Now that's the minimum payment. How much of so the minimum payment more than covers the finance charge, of course, but then anything left is actually bringing the balance down. How much does this minimum payment reduce the balance by? So we started out owing 3,000. This was how much we're getting charged. This was how much we're paying. So if I subtract the 91.72, subtract the 57.48, it is only bringing the balance down by $34.24. So the beginning or the carryover balance for the next month would be very small.
Okay, so. What exactly is the balance? Is that the money you have or the money you owe?
This is money you owe because this is a credit card.
Okay.
The carryover balance is the money that you had charged the month before and have not paid off. And so then it is subject to the charges.
This entire time I was like, why are they adding money to her account?
No, this is money she owes them. So the carryover, yes, okay, good. So the carryover balance is $2,965.76. So if you only make the minimum payment, did you not get $2,965.76?
So the minimum payment would be $91.
and 72 cents.
So if we take that off 3,507. Okay.
If you take it off the $3,057.48.
Right, but what if the minimum payments covered the finance charge?
D, you could get that from just subtracting your minimum payment, subtract the finance charge. It's just asking how much is it reducing it. You could also,
Okay. So
yeah,
we don't
you
have to
could-
take that off the
right,
2,057.
right. You could get the answer from E, from doing 3,000, take away $34.24 also.
Right.